Welcome to Night Light. Step away from the mainstream and gather around as we enlighten the world and our realities and travel this cosmic journey we call life. Join us as we share with you and provide that beacon that can guide us all to a better way. Explore with us as we examine a metaphysical montage of spiritual insights, covering everything from the mundane to the magical, UFOs to unicorns, and everything in between. This is a time of awakening, of sharing and evolving, of spreading our wings and soaring on the cosmic breath of creation. Come and join with other light-minded spirits as we weave our lights together to seek understanding, enlightenment, and with a little luck, some wisdom. This is Night Light, a reminder that you are never alone.
Welcome, everybody. Glad to see that I've got some people here that want readings for the new year. Something I just love to do. But before we even start that, I have to point Gregg towards the techie stuff because for some reason the feed on Facebook is not going through. So in your spare time.
Yeah, let's see if I can. Oh, here. Let's see if this works. It looks like the stream was deleted on Facebook. Try creating a new one.
Yeah.
So I don't know how that happened.
I didn't touch anything. I did.
I don't know now that it started. I'm wondering if I can do that. I hit go live. All right. Well, we'll start, and I'll see if I can.
Okay. In your spare
Otherwise,
time.
if I can't, then the only other way would be to stop and start over. We don't want to do that. So
no, we'll just
go with it. Okay. All right. I'll try.
Okay. Well, we'll plow ahead with YouTube since there are people there. And who do we have first?
Okay. We have Dion Lang. And Dion says, hi. If I can get a reading tonight, I'd really appreciate it. Thanks.
Hi. Absolutely. No problem at all. I think getting readings, especially at the first of the year, is a fun thing because you have a whole year you can stretch out and say, well, did this happen? Didn't that happen? And whatever. It does feel here as though you're at a place in time where you are pulling things together, sort of unifying a lot of stuff in your life. And it does feel like it's almost like tax time, but not. It feels as though you're looking at life, you're looking at your future, you're looking at the directions you want to go and sort of prioritizing. And this month is going to be a month in which you really do get things in order. You appear to have a lot of stuff started all over the place, and you haven't finished a lot of it. So check out what is really important. What are the directions you want to go in? Focus on those because it feels to me as though you have an amazing amount of spiritual energy as a whole. And excuse me, you'll be able to plug yourself in and go ahead. Just don't get distracted. When you start something, finish it. Don't let yourself get, in other words, don't smell the roses along the way for the next little while. Make sure that you keep going. You don't stop and start and stop and start. Otherwise, you'll stop and you'll start something else, and then you'll stop and you'll start something else. So if you commit to something, to finish it, that's what I think is a really great idea for you, because lots of people can, have lots of irons in the fire. For this particular point in time, you can't. You have to focus on one area, complete it, and then move on to the next. As you move into February, there's a sense here of a rebirth of a new aspect of yourself. It feels as though you are moving towards allowing new potential that you have inside of you to come into your physical reality. So you're making changes in your life, possibly even your physicality, so that there's a birth of a new direction, a birth of a new spirit. And it does feel as though you are starting to do things that you haven't tried before. So this is going to be a time in which you're experimenting and trying new things. Just because you try something doesn't mean you're committed to it for life. So if you try something, it doesn't work, you can back out and start over again in another direction. As you get into the March timeframe, here's where you have a lot of choices coming your way. So it feels as though you're going to be able to choose new directions, choose new insights, choose even new groups of friends or new areas that you want to experiment with. It does feel as though there are new groups here, as though you are becoming involved in new groups of people, and groups for you at this point in time is a really good idea, because you need to have that camaraderie that can kind of make you keep going, make you keep stretching yourself a little further. As you get into April, here's where the spirituality comes in very strongly, and it does feel as though you're beginning to awaken a lot of new areas and directions inside of yourself that you haven't been playing with as much as you could. You have an amazing amount of wisdom inside of you. It feels as though it would be a great idea to be writing it down, to be sharing it with yourself. You have talents here that you are beginning to play with, and I think that the more you let your creativity flow in your life, the more abundant your life is going to be. As you get into May, there's a lot of abundance coming your way. Also has something to do with things that are going on in the home. So it feels as though you're starting your projects in the home, and that they are growing beyond that. Please understand that while our spiritual journey is fueled by our creativity, if we're being paid for it, it doesn't count. So you have to find other ways to get the creative energy flowing. It does feel here as though you're about to breach into new aspects and areas of yourself. You're about to pull in new creativity and allow it to help to flow you along your pathway, because it does feel as though, while life has been start and stop, it picks up its pace as you get into the May timeframe, and as you get into June, there's a sense here of feeling that there is a great richness in your life. You feel the love that is being sent to you by friends and by relatives and by loved ones. And it does feel as though June is a time where you even get some of those cosmic hugs, like the universe saying, you're doing well, keep going. And as you hit the July timeframe, you've got lots of pieces of puzzles coming into a conclusion. It feels as though you've had some questions in your life about some aspects of your life, possibly even friends, and you have felt as though pieces were missing. You didn't have all the information you needed to have to make choices. And as you get into the July timeframe, here's where the pieces come together. Here's where you begin to understand people's agendas, people's directions, how they relate to you and how they affect you, and being able to sort of put the pieces together and move from the conclusions you come from at that particular point in time. August has the element of transmuting yourself, directions. It means you're making changes. You're moving into new aspects of yourself. You're allowing parts of you that have not been out in the public, so to speak. There's a greater sense of security, of being able to talk and speak appropriately, and people are starting to listen to you in new and different ways, so that there is greater respect coming in your direction from those that are closest to you. You're going to be surprising a lot of people. As you hit the time frame of September, there's the element of commitment here. You're committing yourself to new directions, to new changes. There may be even commitments there will be commitments on a spiritual level, but also on a physical level, so that the element of committing yourself to new directions with new people is definitely here. It does feel as though there are new levels of spiritual entanglement of people coming into your life that have been with you in past lifetimes. You'll feel it, you'll know it, and so will they. It's going to be some interesting friendships that evolve here from the September timeframe on. As you got into October, there's new balance. You have your life in balance, in a better balance than it is right now, for sure. And it feels as though you have more or less created a balance where you can move forward with greater confidence than ever before as you get into the November timeframe. Here it does feel as though you sense a feeling that the spirit within is sending you messages. You're paying attention to coincidences and synchronicities, and there's a higher level of understanding of the messages being sent by the spirit that you carry within. As you hit December, it feels here as though there's a sense here of letting go of things that no longer have any impact on your life or within you. And it does feel as though this is going to be a time here where there is a sense of moving to a new level of understanding of growth and development, so that you're finding a new mountain to climb, and it's really very exciting. So it looks like it's going to be a very exciting time for you. Hope that helps you. Hope you took notes. Actually, even if you didn't take notes, it'll be up on YouTube. You can always go back and re-listen to it. Okay, Greg.
All right. So she said very true. Then she said, yes, I'm moving.
Oh, cool. Look at the dog. Oh, sorry.
Yeah. Little cup Yorkie. I had one of those once. They're cute. All right, good news. I got us up live on Facebook.
Oh, good.
Yeah, I had to do a little finagling, but I managed. First, I went up there and told everybody to come here to YouTube, but then I managed to do it. So then I deleted that. Okay. So I was busy working while you were doing that reading. Okay. Next up is Politi Hoot.
Okay.
Politi Hoot says, hi, from New York, hoping for a reading.
My stomping grounds. Yes, you can tell I'm definitely not from the South, even though I'm living here. I don't say y'all at all yet, but I have been known to slip. Okay. You have a lot of really great energy here. I think from what I'm seeing here, from what I'm feeling, you're at a good place in your life where you are able to make some shifts and changes that in the past you haven't been able to, so that there is greater freedom of moving in your own spiritual directions. And it does feel as though this is a time where you're creating new foundations. You're making choices that you're not listening to people who are telling you what to do as much anymore, so that you are taking control of the directions that you're moving in. January is a time of new foundations, of creating new directions that you're going to be moving in. It does feel as though it's a time where you're not holding yourself back as much. You're allowing yourself to move forward with a greater sense of security and understanding and insight. And it does feel as though there is an excitement about what the future holds for you as you move into the February timeframe. Here's where there's a lot of shifts and changes as to how you interact with other people, how you are paying attention to the hints that they give you through their speaking, through how they hold themselves, so that you are reading people to a deeper degree than you ever have before. And because of that, you're able to make choices, decisions, and say things that are far more appropriate to all the situations you're going in. It feels as though the element of relationship is really important to you. And it does feel on many different levels, relationships are going to be something that you're working on for the next year, whether it's family, whether it's professional, whether it is on a personal level. The element of relationship comes up here over and over and over again, so that you are becoming more and more aware as to your impact on other people, other situations, and you're stepping back and you're making sure that you're being fair to yourself and to the other people that you're working with. As you get into the February timeframe, there's a sense here of spirit sort of like letting you know that you do have a spirit in you, and that you do have a helper, so to speak, and that there is somebody actually steering your way through this lifetime. And it does feel as though you're getting messages, whether they are in daydreams, whether they are in seeing messages, or something resonates to you that you hadn't heard of or thought of before. I do feel that this is going to be a year in which you have a bigger relationship to the spirit that you carry within than you do right now. Now you just sort of talk to it every now and then, and hope that somebody is listening or something is listening, and it definitely is indeed. It feels like you've opened that portal, that you are allowing spiritual information to flow through you and to you in new and unusual and different ways that should be very exciting for you. As you move into March, you've got the element here of great abundance coming your way. There's more abundance coming your way than you anticipate, and this is not only in a financial area, but it is in a personal level. It's in all aspects of life. So, while we think abundance, we think of winning the lottery. I'm not seeing that, but I wouldn't say don't buy a ticket. But it does feel here as though the abundance coming your way is more of an emotional abundance than and intellectual abundance, so that what you've been waiting for intellectually and spiritually is coming your way. So don't look for the emotional part. That will come as a result of the other two. As you come into the April timeframe, spotlight falls on you. It feels as though people are paying greater attention to you. There's a sense of your words are not falling on deaf ears, and it feels as though your actions as well are being observed, and people are noticing you and giving you greater credit for the wisdom that you carry within, which is very exciting. As you hit the May timeframe, element of healing here, you're letting go of things that no longer apply to you. You're letting go of things that you have been holding on to, hoping that they would change, and realizing that they won't. And I won't go any further on that, because that's exactly what I got. And if I had to interpret it, I'd probably do it wrong. So let's just, you're letting go of things that won't change. And as that happens, as that release happens, a greater flow of energy comes into you that really will knock you off your feet. And it's a cool thing. It means that you've made room for new endeavors, new people, and new elements of life to get involved in. As you hit June, there's a sense here of making changes in yourself and the directions you're going in. Most of us try to anticipate where we're going and what we're going to be doing, and it usually is never what we have anticipated. So my feeling here is that stop trying to think where you should be or where you want to go, and allow yourself to flow along with what the universe is bringing to your doorstep, because the universe will bring, so much more than you could possibly anticipate to you if you try not to manipulate the future. All of us try. Very few of us are able to do it. I'm one of the ones that can't. So I speak from experience there. As you get into July, there's the element here of balance, of legalities being taken care of. It feels like there are legalities that you're going to be involved in. Not being sued, it's nothing to be worried about, but it is legalities nonetheless. It's fairness. It's making sure there's a balance in areas. And it does feel, again, the sense I see justice's scales being balanced. So there may be aspects in your life that you have felt were not fair that now begin to balance. And if you keep your hands off the scales, you'll be far richer for what is to come, instead of trying to insist on what you think you deserve. Allow the universe to give you what you really do deserve, because the universe will be far more generous than you might expect. As you hit June, July, August, it has a time of commitment, moving into new commitments that are both social and professional. It feels as though there's a sense here of allowing yourself to share in new ways and directions with the people around you and within your inner circle. As you hit September, it feels like there's work here. It feels like there are projects that come up that you don't expect that appear to be really exciting for you, but you're going to have to be rolling your sleeves up because there are many sleepless nights here. But good sleepless, not worry, but just because you are trying to catch up. It's going to be a time, both August and September, where you're trying to catch up. And what is that saying? The more ahead I get, the more behind her I feel. So that you're working very hard. As you hit October, there is a new balance in your life. There are new directions you're going to be going in, and it feels as though all of the work and all of the really late nights are paying off, and it feels as though the balance that you've established here allows you to move into new arenas and new groups and new groups, new people. Professionally speaking, there may be quite a change here, because as you hit November, everything comes together in a nice little package here. It feels as though everything has been worked on separately, brought together and unified, so that there is a new direction that you will be going in, along with a lot of the people that you work with. And as you hit the December timeframe, here's where all the pieces come together. You understand the directions that you were aimed at to this point in time, but not exactly where you're going to end up. So that there's quite a journey ahead of you, professionally speaking. But it feels as though it's going to be very exciting for you, and it's going to allow you to develop and to manifest a lot of the talents that you have within you that you haven't been using up to this point in time. Okie dokie.
All right. So, let's see here. She said, I don't know if you saw, I popped these up, that she, when you were saying you're from up New York area, she had a reading from you in Connecticut at one point.
Yeah.
And then she said, in May, I'm hoping to retire from my current job. And then said, good, sleepless nights are welcome. And amazing. Hope all this comes to pass. Okay.
Me too.
Yeah. The first reading from Dion, she said, thank you very much. Wonderful. And
Very
that brings us to Nancy Ray. And Nancy says, hi, Barbara. Would love a reading on the highlights of this new year, please. Wishing you a happy new year.
Oh, thank you. Thank you. To you too. It's kind of a pleasure to be able to spread somebody's year out theoretically in front of me and give them an indication as to where I see it going. This looks really cool. It feels what I'm seeing here is that this next year is going to be one in which that there are dualities in all aspects of your life, so that rather than be singularly focused, there are dualities always going on. That's what it is. While you're working on a personal level, while you're working on a level where you are professional, whatever, your physicality is one major direction for you. But what I'm seeing when I see duality is that on another level, you have the spiritual that you're more involved in now than you have been in a long time. So the duality suggests that you're bringing spirituality in one form or another into all aspects of your life, which is really cool and very, very important. It feels as though while you are spiritually oriented to a great degree, it kind of comes and goes in spurts, so that you have times where you are just plowing ahead with the spiritual, and the physical isn't that much in play, and now it feels to me as though you've brought them into balance, so that they each complement one another so that you can apply the spiritual wisdoms that you have inside of you to your physical reality, thusly enhancing relationships and job and everything else. As you get into the January timeframe here, it does feel as though you're stepping back and taking a look at all aspects of life and beginning to embrace the spiritual aspects that are presented in many different ways on many different levels, and understand that everything that comes your way is meant to be a tool for you to grow from, that there are no bad anythings. It's all good, some challenging, some very challenging. But always there is that element of you can accomplish this, or you can do this, or you can, you can manage this. And because you are learning about your own strength and your own wisdom, it enhances what you radiate to other people. So you're going to be pulling new and unusual and unique people into your life. Not weird, but unique. And maybe a little weird here and there, but that's fun. As you get into the February timeframe, there's a sense here of the spirit within you sort of helping to flow some of the energy to you in new and unique and different ways. It feels as though you actually are more and more and more aware of the spirit that rests within you, that is traveling through this lifetime with you. And it feels as though you don't feel alone. There's that spiritual energy inside of you, and you become kind of friends with it in many ways. And it does feel as though you're being aware of the spirit within you means that you've opened that portal, and the spirit can help through daydreams, through dreams, through coincidences, through synchronicities, give you hints as to directions that you might want to flow in. And it, it's going to seem strange, but what happens is, you are along for a ride, and it does feel as though this energy that you have, that you are becoming acquainted with, gives you directions. The only danger is, don't anticipate. Don't think you know what you should be doing. Always wait for the answer. Always wait for the hint. Always wait for the call, so to speak. Because if you make up your mind that there is something that you're sure you're supposed to do, I will guarantee you're wrong. And I speak from experience here. It's sort of like waiting for the opportunity to present itself, rather than going on knocking on doors and trying to find the experience you're looking for. February is going to be a great time for you. You're going to have a lovely time. You will knock on some wrong doors. You will learn this concept of waiting for the call. And in some ways, it will actually come as a call. It's really kind of very exciting. But trying not to anticipate what is meant for you to have in your life or to experience, but rather wait for it to be delivered to you, not on a silver tray, but just wait for things to open up for you, so that you're not stepping into areas where you don't need to go at this point in time. As you get into the March timeframe, there's a lot of research here. You're looking into a lot of books. I feel that there's a lot of reading, a lot of research, a lot of, my favorite statement is, you've mugged a library. It's not what I'm seeing. I'm not seeing new books, but I am seeing old books. So you may be hitting flea markets, or you may be hitting used bookstores, or you may be looking for old wisdom in old things to apply to new situations, to create new wisdoms. As you get into the April timeframe, here's where spiritual energy, absolutely starts to blossom for you. It's understanding that being spiritual doesn't mean that you're putting a white robe on and going to the mountaintop and waiting for the mothership. It means that you are understanding about how, as a human being, you're supposed to be acting with those people around you, how you are supposed to be showing the love you have inside of you to other people, how to enhance everybody and everything around you without dipping into your wallet, but rather by your patience and your care and sharing your time with people. It does feel as though as you hit the April timeframe, a lot of spiritual stuff is going on here, and it's almost as though you found books that just resonate to you, or material that resonates to you, but it changes your perspective and how you treat yourself and others, and it's an amazing shift and change. It does have a great deal to do too with your family, so there's a lot of family orientation here. New groups of people, new friends coming in. Just be careful you don't overwhelm people with what you're going through. Allow them to ask questions and give answers. I've often found that if you wait for someone to ask the question, then the spirit within you will give you the appropriate answer that is far more profound than anything that you might have thought of yourself. You have to remember that the spirit, the person, the physicality you are, is in one reality, and the spirit that travels within you is my gosh, immortal. It's forever, and it has access to wisdom from all time. And so if you let that bring the answers to you, then you've been educated in a more profound way than you could ever from books and stuff like that. Though books are wonderful. Don't give up books. As you get into May, there's a sense here of laughter, joy, and celebration. It feels as though there's a lot going on within the family, within the home, and it also is sort of a celebration, as though you have achieved a level of achievement of some sort. And there's a lot of celebration. There's celebratory energy here on many different levels. And as you hit the June timeframe, you have the freedom to make choices that are very unique for you. It feels as though it's a time where you are allowing yourself to make some changes and some shifts and some movement that you were hesitant to make prior to this. I would say from the May timeframe through the November timeframe, this is a time of awakening, of inspiration, of wisdom, of creative energy flowing, unbelievably through you and with you. As you hit the June timeframe, there's this sense here of having the freedom to make the shifts and changes and experience some things that you had not thought you had the ability to experience, or the time. Not talking money here. I'm not talking paying for classes or anything like that. I'm talking experiential things that you will find within nature, within small groups and things like that. As you get into July, there's the crown chakra opening up. Here's where you're beginning to understand a lot of the flow of energy around you and within you. Here also is a time where you're beginning to utilize the earth energy more than you have in the past. Earthing is important. Walking barefoot on the ground in appropriate seasons is really important for you. It grounds you. It attaches you to the earth energy. It does feel here as though July and August especially are going to be months in which you spend time walking barefoot on the ground in appropriate areas. It just is, it's almost as though you can feel the energy flow through you. It feels as though there is some sort of new energy here. If you've never been involved with Tai Chi or Qigong, or Reiki energy, I would look into it, because you have the capacity to do it. And it does feel as though bringing up the earth energy is really, really important to you. So don't overdo it, but do make sure that you get. There's a book called Earthing. I would pick it up, or borrow it from the library. It's getting yourself in sync with the earth energy, the earth mother heartbeat. and it feels as though it will give you greater strength, greater stability, and greater ability to move forward in time. As you hit August, there's a sense here of spending time with people around you who you love. This is August is a time where you're basically in small groups, and especially within family. Family is important here, because a lot in your family, there are lines in your family DNA wise that have a spiritual flow to them that you are beginning to connect. You don't have to connect with the people, you have to connect with the flow of energy that they supply, which is, you don't have to be near them to draw from it or to learn from it. As you hit September, here's where you are birthing a new aspect of yourself. You're getting more and more in touch with your own understanding and wisdom and direction. There's a lot of writing going on, as though you are doing, whether it's dream journals or just journals or wisdom journals. I hear journals, and it does feel as though you are sharing with yourself on another level, through opening yourself up to channeling to a certain degree. One way of understanding if you're channeling or not is that channeling energy, anything you write that you are channeling, will give you philosophy. It will never tell you what to do or how to do it, because that's your spirit that has to do that. But channeling, allowing energy to flow through you, is really quite profound, and it will open you up to new aspects and areas that you can access and utilize to help you make your life more abundant and richer. As you get into the October timeframe, new beginnings, fresh starts, new areas that you're going to be dipping into. It does feel like it's a time where you are reaching into new areas, absolutely new areas. And as you hit November has the threshold card, and the threshold card is signifies a time where you are allowing a portal to open within you to enhance you more greatly with wisdom and spiritual energy. It's a time, it signifies a time when you have greater understanding of this and other dimensions. There's a lot of interdimensional material here. So again, that element of writing and channeling is really important. Giving yourself another outlet rather than just speaking or thinking. And do understand that when you have this kind of ability, if you don't write it down, it doesn't manifest. You have to write it down in order for it to manifest. You have to anchor it within reality by writing it down. You've seen my website. I wrote a lot down. I'm still writing, but if you are just speaking it and not writing it down and not claiming it as your own, then it just sort of drifts there, and it doesn't do you any good. You can't use it. You can't work with it. So as you hit this November and December, especially, December is a time where you find many different new channels and energies that you want to go in. Again, write them down. A spirit board would be a good idea for you. So something that you can focus on and help to manifest a lot of the gifts and talents and skills that are going to be opening to you as you get into 26. So that there's a lot of really great energy here. 26, 27, 28. Yeah, you've got a lot of new material that will be coming, that will be made available to you. It's up to you to claim it and to open to it. And once you open to it, it floods you with wonderful information and talent and skills and all sorts of cool stuff. So it looks like it's a great time for you. So keep us posted. Let us know how we did. Okie doke.
All right. Nice. Okay. Up next is Ellen R, 8634. Hi, Barbara. If you have time, I'd love a reading. I already know that 2026 will bring lots of changes. Okay.
Lots of changes. Lots of changes on a personal level and on a global level. And if any of you, if you haven't already read the 2026 predictions that are on the website. Do check them out. They go right along with that. Yeah, there's a lot of changes coming, and some of them are going to be very interesting.
I'll put the link to it in the chat.
Okay, because for some reason that particular prediction has been getting a lot of attention, and I can only think that it's getting attention because it's resonating with people, which is really cool. So, so kind of take a gander at it when you get a chance. Okay, is this Ellen? Ellen. Okay, Ellen. Wow, you've been working so hard. It feels as though you've been challenged a lot and often thought or wondered, why me? And the reason you've been challenged a lot is because you're at a point in time where you have grown so spectacularly well on a spiritual level that the challenges keep coming to remind you of the fact that you can overcome anything. You've had a lot of challenges. There's no doubt about it, but you have a great richness in you because of the challenges. I would say that what I'm seeing here is that you're working very hard on yourself, and that's a great thing to do. But don't be hard on yourself because you think there's a need that you're not being punished because you're being challenged. You're being rewarded because you've achieved so much and you've grown so much, and there's excitement here for you. So I feel strongly that there are a lot of new beginnings coming for you this next year, and I think that you've earned every one of them. But that doesn't mean that you won't continue to get the challenges because you're good at it. As you get into the January timeframe here, there's a lot of new energy that feels as though it's coming through you. I feel that your sleep patterns are changing. If you haven't already had trouble with sleep, that you most probably will. You're going to find yourself getting up and going back down and getting up and going back down. And for some of us older people, you get up and you go to the bathroom and you come back down. But it feels as though there's an inner restlessness here that is so profound, and it's so exciting not to go through, but it's so exciting to see. Because it means that there are shifts and changes energetically within you that are so profound, that are so amazing, and you're being opened to so many wonderful spiritual gifts above and beyond what you already have. And it does feel as though the month of September is going to be one in which there's a lot of interrupted sleep. You're going to be thinking that there are going to be times when you're thinking so hard, your brain just won't let you go to sleep. And so it will pass. You'll be able to get into greater sleep patterns by the time you get into February. So don't be worried about it. But it's not because you're worried about aspects of your life. It's because there's new information on a spiritual level that is flowing into you, and you're getting downloads, especially at night. And because you're getting the downloads, it may give you from time to time a small headache. And certainly if you're worried about it medically, check it out. But it does feel as though this is a time frame where spiritual energy is flowing through you so profoundly that it takes time to assimilate. It takes time to sort of integrate into all of the other aspects that you have inside of you. As you hit February, it does feel like there's a healing energy here, that you're letting go of things that no longer apply to you. You're going through a time in which there's greater strength here. I'm feeling you walking a lot more. Now I know February, I don't know where you are, but it may or may not be a time where you can do a lot of walking, but I would suggest a treadmill or something like that, because you need to feel that you are making progress. You need to feel that you are walking towards a greater abundance within your life, and you are. As you hit the March timeframe, there is the element of abundance coming into you. It feels as though it's not a tax return. I mean, you may get a tax return, but it's above and beyond a tax return. There's abundance coming to you in many different areas and ways, so that it feels like there are new people coming into your life. There are new offers that are coming your way. There are new things that are opening up to you in the time frame of March. I feel strongly that you've been working hard towards a lot of changes, and they begin to manifest within the March timeframe. As you get into April, there's a whole new flow of energy, and it feels like your life changes. You open up, there's a greater sense of relaxation here. There's a greater sense of enjoying yourself, and new groups of people coming into your life here. It feels as though you are opening yourself up to the greater potential that is out there for you. You are not judging yourself anymore, because you have in the past judged yourself and slowed yourself down. The possibilities are amazing for you. So just as they open up to you, embrace them. And if they feel good and they work good and they're legal, step into them. I know you have fixed in your mind directions that you think you're going in. I would suggest that you're not right. So as you get into the May timeframe, there's commitment to new directions. So as they flow to you, as you begin to see them coming your way, wait for them to come to the doorstep, because some are going to pass by, but there's the element here of commitment to new directions, to new areas, to new elements within yourself. And it does feel as though there is a sense here of new people as well coming into your life. Family is important. It feels like there's a lot of family stuff going on here. Home changes and shifts to a great degree. And you may be opening up to either new construction or the possibility and the potential of a move. It may just be starting here, so that there may be a move at a later date, but I do feel that there's a move of some sort here. As you get into the June timeframe, there's a sense here of having the ability to make choices here that you never thought you'd be able to make before. You have the law of free will. You're able to move in new directions, into new areas. Just remember that free will doesn't mean that there aren't consequences that have to be paid. So if you choose to make deviations from the pathway you're on, fine and appropriate, but understand that there are always consequences to whatever direction you go in. As you get into the July timeframe, spotlight falls on you. People are paying attention to you. There's a sense of warmth that is really quite profound. You actually are radiating. There's a sense of security, and there's a sense of knowing yourself better, and there's a sense of glowing, because you have that wonderful, great feeling inside of you. It will attract a lot of people to you. Do understand that there are a lot of people that will be attracted to you, but remember that you should have discernment too. that not everybody who's attracted to you is going to be good for you as far as future and things like that go. So discernment is very, very important. Letting people prove the kind of friends they are, and not jumping at something that old saying, be careful. If it looks too good to be true, it probably is, will apply in the month of July. So be cautious, but have a good time. As you hit August, again, this element of healing is here. You're letting go of, I see you ripping off Band-Aids and letting hurts heal, so that you are coming to a time of growing within yourself, of healing and allowing healing to take place, so that by the time you get to September, there are new foundations that you are beginning to work on. You're looking at new aspects of people coming into your life and how you can flow with them, and how creative energies can be interwoven and create, new possibilities and potentialities, not only for yourself, but for your family as well. As you get into the October timeframe, there's a sense here of understanding a lot of the challenges that have been presented to you helped you to grow and helped you to get wiser and helped you to be a far richer person in many different areas. As you get into the November timeframe, this is going to be interesting. You have, as you get into November, there's going to be a period of time where you kind of are having I doubt it moments. And I'll tell you exactly when they're going to be. They're going to be between the 1st and the 10th of the month. So between the 1st and the 10th of the month of November, try not to make any major, choices or decisions, and try to not be bullied into anything. After the 10th, make your choices and stuff like that. But you play I doubt it the first 10 days, because that will be the time frame where you're kind of uneasy about things. And when you feel uneasy, you don't do anything. You step back and you take a break, and you allow things to flow more easily around and through you. And by the time you get to January, you have your house in order. And it does feel as though there are changes that are going on here. I do feel that family in the month of November and December are going to be a focus for you, and do take care of what has to be taken care of. It does feel as though as you hit the December timeframe, that everything will have sorted out. There will be a sense of peace and tranquility. And while the holidays are going to be very special, they're going to be special in a different way this next year. And it looks like a very exciting time for you. Okie dokie.
All right. Okay.
Alrighty.
Nancy said, the last reading you did, everything you said resonates with me. Thank you so much.
Oh, cool.
And then Ellen, who you just read, said that she listened to the 2026 reading. I don't know, I popped these up while you were doing the reading, but I'll bring them up again. Yes, there's lots of energy going through me. Great way of putting it. And she said, I'm in New York City, your old stomping ground, and that what you said in April makes sense. She plans to retire around that time. So a little bit of confirmation there.
Cool.
Okay, next up, we have Molly. Molly came in and first said, this is my first time here. Welcome, Molly. Happy to connect with other beautiful souls. And then said, I'll be happy to receive a reading, if it's possible, on our family finances, home business, and me possibly returning to work. So happy to be here.
Okie doke. Well, possibly returning to work. I am, let's see. Actually, just if any of you are curious, when I lay cards out, I'm laying out Cosmic Deck of Initiation. This is one of the cards. And that's why these readings are a little different. It's a spiritual oracle deck that I painted, and it's available out there. And there's a website, Cosmic Deck of Initiation, if you want to go and look at it. The cards give you a spiritual insight into what's coming your way. It definitely will go into any aspect you want it to go into, but for the most part, I am reading the energy that it gives me for you for this moment in time, and please understand that energies change and things like that. But with these cards, it gives you material to work with. This feels as though it's going to be a year that's full of laughter and joy. Work, but laughter and joy. It's going to be a time in which, when challenges come your way, you are finding ways of enjoying them, of being challenged by them. But the element of laughter is rich here. So I do believe that you have gotten to a point in time here where you can not laugh at something, but laugh with something. You can grow with the laughter. Laughter is the biggest healing tool that we've got. And you absolutely are a master at utilizing it. It feels as though there's a sense here of expanding yourself, moving into new directions. And as we come into the January timeframe, I feel you are evolving into new directions and new aspects of life. I feel strongly that there's this sense here of you. There's a part of you that wants to go in several different directions, and I would say experiment with all of them, because it feels to me as though your effervescence is going to draw you into the right place at the right time in the right way. You have a trust in the universe that I think is amazing. You just know that the right thing is going to happen in the right time in the right way, and that's a great way of looking at life, even though sometimes it is a struggle. You are evolving into new aspects of yourself. There are new aspects of yourself that you're stretching into. So you're very aware of the fact that no matter how old we get, there's always something new to learn. And it's don't you are not the kind of person that is ever going to sit back and say, I'm done learning, or I know it all and I don't have to go any further, because that just doesn't happen. But there are changes here, and they're all good changes. It may make for some unique shifts in your closets and your dresser drawers. It does feel as though you're going to be going through upheaval to a certain degree in going through everything and making sure that you're not holding on to something that will never fit again. Like me in my closet, that I had to get rid of finally, that size 8 dress that is never going to get on. It's never going to be on my back again. Maybe one leg, but that's about it. So anyhow, so you're evolving and making changes and making room for the new changes to bring new things into your life. As you get into the February timeframe, here's where there is work. It does feel as though you're working at making shifts and changes within the home, but it also appears that there are going to be opportunities for you to take on other types of work in other places. What I'm seeing here throughout the whole year is that there are going to be lots of opportunities for you to take on small things in order to find where the right place for you to be is at this point in time. I would say that you have an amazing ability to laugh and enjoy almost any situation you come into. I feel strongly that February is going to be a time where there's a lot of work that goes on here, as though you're decluttering, as though you're kind of making ready for almost a move, and that may be appropriate. So that in February, it's almost as though you're going through your home and you're getting rid of stuff that we don't need anymore, we don't want anymore, and you're just lightening the load so that as you move forward through the year, when you find other areas that you want to experience and try on for size, so to speak, there won't be a clutter in your home. As you hit March, there's a time here, there's a sense here of taking a look around and just seeing what you need to do, and not so much need, I take that back, what you want to do, what you want to experience, how you want to put your energy into things. And in many ways, there's the element of learning new talents and skills, of allowing yourself to open up to the fact, well, I don't know how to do that, but I'm happy to learn. And because of that, you're going to find that there are going to be many different ways that you can stretch yourself and grow into new areas and elements. And even before, even if you haven't decided yet what direction you want to go, highly suggest you look into some of the adult education things and find areas that are of interest to you, so your mind can start to grind in new ways. You have an amazing mind. You are a wise person, and it does feel as though you have a lot of learning ahead for you. And it does feel as though, checking out things that you might want to learn. And I mean, it can be even belly dancing. It can be learning how to juggle. It can be doing all sorts of wonderful things, but please put yourself out there. And if something, really looks like fun, try it, because the more fun you have, the more you radiate out there, the more you'll draw people into you that will offer you opportunities that you wouldn't get otherwise. So the more fun you have, again, the more fun you have in learning, the greater the opportunity it's going to open for you in the future. And it does feel like, there's certainly lots of different opportunities coming your way. As you get into the March timeframe, again, this element of finding new places to put yourself, new areas to work with and on. April has a new continuity to it. It feels as though you're finding a new rhythm within yourself, a new way to enjoy yourself. I feel you surrounded by laughter, not at you, but with you, so that your laughter is your tool to get into unusual and unique situations that can be beneficial to you and that can allow you to grow in new directions. There's this new flow of energy as you get into the April timeframe that opens you up to a new balance within the May timeframe. Here's where there are legal papers that are signed. Here's where there is a new balance in your life. It feels like you may well be considering a move. There may be a move here. It really looks like there's a move. And if there's not an actual move, then there is construction that goes on within your home. I keep hearing, I keep smelling plasterboard and stuff like that. I don't think that there's been an accident or anything. I think it's construction in enhancing or growing or improving on where it is you're now living. There's also, it still feels like there's a move, but because you want to, not because you have to. And as you get into the June timeframe, there's this sense here of taking a deep breath and relaxing and putting your feet up. And it does feel as though there's healing energy here all around you. I feel that your laughter has certainly helped a lot of people heal, for sure. And so it's funny. I feel a sense of you working with disabled people, whether it's in like a nursing home or an assisted living place, or whether it's doing therapy of some sort. I feel you working with people who are disabled because your way of encouraging people and helping them to struggle through whatever it is they're going through is just amazing. Your ability to laugh at the right time in the right way so that people are able to share your laughter and grow from it. So there's definitely working with people who are disabled. I don't know if disabled is really the word, but it could be people who are in need of healing, people almost in a nursing home type thing, where your laughter can help people to reach out of whatever gloom they're in, and there's laughter here. There's healing. There's healing connected to the laughter. Could even be a stand-up comedy. But there's healing laughter here, and it's quite profound. And I threw in stand-up comedy, but that could be here too. Anyhow, as you get into the July timeframe, there's unity of focus. It feels as though you are moving in new directions. It feels like you really have an idea as to the new directions, new areas you're going to want to reaching in. I feel strongly that there is a sense here of you feeling the spirit within helping. You feel the influence and the help that the spirit within is giving you as far as synchronicities and coincidences. And I feel strongly that there is a sense of spiritual growth that is going on here that is very, very profound. As you hit the September timeframe, there's commitment to new directions. There's commitment to new areas. There's commitment to allowing yourself to be drawn forward as opposed to putting yourself forward. And there's a big difference. It feels as though if you let the laughter lead you, if you let the laughter inside of you open the doors, that I mean, anything is possible. As you hit October, there's birth of a new aspect. Someone around you, someone close to you, around you, um, feels as though there's going to be a new baby coming. Um, I don't know if it's coming in this time frame or if the pregnancy happens here. I feel the pregnancy, but I just don't know if it's the end or the beginning of the pregnancy. But on top of the fact that there is new birth here on a physical level, and I'm not saying it's you, I'm just saying around you. There's birth of a new direction for you as well, so that you're moving into new areas that are exciting for you. There's a sense here of freedom of movement, moving in new directions and crossing a threshold of understanding of this and other dimensions, so that you're going to be drawn in areas. You're going to be drawn into areas that are unique and different for you. And you find those areas by doing things that excite you and are fun for you, because what that does is it radiates joy, which means it'll attract people to you. By attracting people to you, they will be able to help you to move in the new directions that you want to move in. You have such a charmingly wonderful, happy energy here, and I know that you've been tested, but you always manage to make the best of every situation, and it feels to me as though there is great power here. And again, I want to get back to, if I was saying, you asked about going back to work. It feels like something around the May, June timeframe may open up to you, and don't confine yourself to working with handicapped or people who are in need. Just be open to what comes to you, and if you are comfortable with it, flow with it, because the laughter is going to take you everywhere. You've got a very special energy, and it is very healing. The other thing I see here, and I don't know if it's from your cards, so it's from your energy. I see you holding new babies in a hospital. So I don't know if there's a program where you can go in and be one of the people that holds babies that don't have people to hold them or something like that. I see you holding new babies in a hospital that are not your own, but you're holding babies and you're talking to them and singing to them. One doesn't have to have a voice to sing to a baby. They don't know you can't sing. Your sister's pregnant. Okie doke. So your laughter is amazing. So enjoy it, share it, and see where it's going to take you, because it looks like it's going to be profound as heck. Okay.
All right. Yeah, Molly was commenting quite a lot. I don't think you're seeing all the comments. I'll just go through them real quick. At first, she said, energetic perspective is perfect. Yes, to work and laughter and joy. And then she said that she's cleaning out her closets, literally. And this is like as you were going through the reading. The more fun and greater opportunities. I love that. And she mentioned that her landlord wants to sell our house, and we are renting.
And you are moving.
Yeah. And then she mentioned that her sister was pregnant. You were mentioning a child or a birth. And she said there's a program like that I've heard about at our local hospital holding premature babies, right? And then lastly, thank you so much. That is so beautiful. Thank you.
Oh, so, well, my pleasure. Totally.
Yeah, so that was good. She was being very interactive. I know it's hard for you to read those comments while you're doing the reading. So
I know the scroll is scrolling, but I have to really, get close to it. And if I'm talking, I can't. That's what you're for, Gregg.
Yeah, that's why I'm here. Ellen, who you read before, just said, thank you, Barbara. The reading really resonates. Some of the things you mentioned are already in my plans for the year.
Oh, how cool.
Okay.
Fabulous.
Yeah. All right, so up next, we keep going here. We have Shannon 79. I'm not sure. But hi, Barbara. I would love to have a reading, please. There has been a lot of changes, more changes. People are feeling the change. The changes.
Yeah, changes are great. You know, they're uncomfortable, but they're great because they always challenge us in unique ways. I don't know. Sometimes the changes that hit me, it's sort of like, really, not again, not more. But yeah, but that's what we're here for. If life was just one continuous boring hum, there'd be no point to being here. We need the changes. We need to have things not work out for us. I mean, even Gregg and I, um, our publisher stopped publishing, and which was a shock, which meant that we have to do our own publishing company. But it's not something we would have done if he hadn't stopped publishing. So when things happen, they open the door for great potential if you're willing to step through that door. So yeah. Okay, so you've got here, this next 12 months is going to be a time of new beginnings and fresh starts. It's a time where a lot of new things are going to start coming at you from many different directions, which is really kind of cool. Challenging stuff for sure, but it does feel as though you've been itchy. You've been itchy. You've been wanting to make shifts and changes, and you haven't known exactly what direction to go in. And my best advice is to let the door open for you. Don't go trying to figure out where you're meant to be, because you'll be wrong. Let the door open, and sometimes it's really hard to wait it out, to let something pop up for you. But the more patience you have with yourself, and while you're waiting for a new beginning, a new change, a new shift, that's when you start to work on your own creative ability and your own talents and things and gifts like that, because our pathway is fueled by the creative energy we are putting out there and not getting paid for. So the best thing to do if there's frustration is to get creative, and you can do it in any way you want to do it. I mean, there are countless ways of being creative, but what that does is it starts the engines running. It starts things happening, and it does feel to me as though this is a month in which you're moving into new levels of understanding the spiritual fields and flows and talents and gifts that you have inside of you. There are a lot of new tools in your tool belt, so to speak. And it does feel as though this is going to be a time where you are allowing yourself to sort of be drawn into a greater understanding of the spiritual elements that are around you and within you. Not religious, but spiritual, and how you utilize those gifts and those tools within your reality and within your friendships, and help to sort of stretch you and grow in new directions. And it's going to be a very exciting time for you, because it's going to change your physical reality to a great extent, in that your perception of life as we know it is going to shift and change as well. It's going to be a fun time. I won't deny, though, that there's going to be a lot of hard work, but it does feel as though it's going to be very beneficial to you all along. Anyhow, as you hit February, there's the element here of working on new directions, working in new areas. I feel you going back to school, and I don't mean brick and mortar school. I mean, I feel that you are going to begin to be learning new facets of yourself and gather new directions for yourself, as far as talents and gifts that you need to evolve into in order to enhance your flow along your pathway this lifetime. It's it's not there's the element of classes of some sort, but also there's the element of learning and teaching yourself and allowing yourself to be to gather new information to apply to old situations. That looks interesting. As you get into the March timeframe, March has new beginnings and fresh starts. There's a lot of activity going on around you and within you. It's almost as though, well, I always wanted to do that. Now this is a good time and I'm going to do it. And it can be anything as simple as learning to play an instrument or taking drawing lessons or a sport of some sort, or committing yourself to new routines or for life, whether it's exercise or anything like that. It's just a time in which March is the time where there's a lot of newness in your life. So you're looking at new things to get involved in, new things to challenge yourself. And it does feel as though the more challenging you are, the more fun it is, whether it's a new language, whether it's a new skill or talent or gift, whatever it is, it's going to enhance and expand your potential for the growth this lifetime. As you get into the month of April, there's abundance coming your way. Not necessarily a tax refund, but abundance of new people, abundance of new understanding, about abundance of new talents and skills that you're working on evolving into. There's a sense here of listening to spirit to a greater extent than you have in the past. You certainly have listened, but it does feel as though you're going to be taking a greater sense of understanding that those whispers that you hear, those insights that you get are really from spirit, and they really are something that you can utilize to enhance your physical reality to a far greater degree than you have to this point in time. There's abundance of information, there's abundance, a wealth of abundance of new people and new challenges that you're going to be giving to yourself as you hit May. There's a sense here of looking at all sorts of different ways of applying your talents and skills to new areas of life. It's a sense here of focusing on making changes not only within your home, but within yourself and within your career. And it does feel as though there's a sense here of, of learning more. And by that, I mean, you are very qualified for a lot of the things you do, yet there are always other levels or new levels or different ways of applying your talents and skills. Having the epidermal of a skill is one thing, but being able to utilize a lot of the material that goes beneath the epidermal is something a lot of people don't get into. It's sort of like, I can turn the computer on and I can turn it off, but I can't program it. Well, let's learn how to program. Let's learn how to do this. And so it's a matter of looking at the talents and skills that you've got and see how much deeper you can go with them. Whether there's a new language here too, and I don't know if it's like computer language or if it's a foreign language, but there's a new language that comes up here in the month of May that looks quite interesting. As you get into the June timeframe, here's where your insight, your perception, your intuition really comes into play here, and it does feel as though you begin to understand that you have a capacity to really understand where people are coming from and where situations are coming from. You're seeing to a greater depth of situations and people and behaviors, a deeper sense than you have ever seen before. Now, not going to earn you any money, but it's going to make you a lot more aware of where you want to be and the people you want to be around and the things you want to be involved in. Being able to understand and have insight above and beyond what you normally have is going to be quite profound. You're going to be able to read people better than you ever have before. And I'm not sure you really want to go into the business, but being able to read someone, it's like reading a room. You can read a room. You can Oh, that's interesting. You you have the ability to read a room, to know if that room is going to be of benefit to you or not, whether it's going to be a comfortable place for you or not, whether you should even go into it or not, and pay attention to it. It's an early warning system from your spirit. And if you walk into some place and it just doesn't feel right, walk out. And I do feel that you will do that in a couple of places that will surprise people. It should be interesting. But your ability, your intuition is going to be so much more profound than it is right now. But it's going to be something that you work with, and you learn to balance life with it, so that it you're not going to become strange, but you're going to utilize that skill and that talent and that gift in some very unique places, especially during this next year. As you get into the July timeframe, here's where there are a lot of books. There's a lot of wisdom here. There's a lot of study here. There's a lot of working at understanding where information comes from and how it gets from there. It's almost as though in many cases you're buying books to remind yourself of what you already know. You don't have to read them, but you have the information, so that it becomes a part of you. You are coming to a point in time where spiritual wisdom, spiritual insight, spiritual focus is really important to you. And it does feel as though it helps to enhance your physical reality to an amazing extent. As you move into August, there's energy here as though you're working on a new aspect of yourself, a new aspect of life. You're moving into a new venue, a new genre. And I would, as you are expanding your spiritual capabilities and talents, I would advise you against large groups. If you're going to do group of study of any sort, make it small, and it shouldn't cost you any money, because what you've got is a spiritual gift that came free from spirit. And if someone is a genuine spiritual teacher, they're not going to charge you. If there's expense of any sort involved, I would veer away from it and let the spirit within you teach you what you need to know. There's a sense here as you move into August, especially, that if you try to take a shortcut, it usually ends in a brick wall. So if there's a mode of study, a way of learning, a way of teaching yourself, a way of moving in a new direction, and it's going to take you a while or a year or so, it's more beneficial to you to do it slow than to try to take a quickie and end up not knowing anything. For some reason, that's very important there. The only teacher that you need ever is the spirit you carry within, because that spirit knows where you're supposed to be going and why you're here. Anyone who tries to tell you how to become more spiritual can only be talking for themselves. So as far as spiritual growth and development and stretching yourself, trust yourself. You'll find that you are far wiser, and what you learn is of greater benefit to you, and it will enhance your life greatly. There's a new balance as you get into September, and it's really important that you enjoy that balance. I would say one of the things in the September timeframe, it's your balance is going to be very fragile at the first of the month. So if you wear high heels, don't. Just make sure you keep life in balance, because the more balanced you are, the further you go, the faster you get there. As you hit the month of October, there's a sense here of music and artwork and healing energy. It feels as though there's a flow of amazing music. You may well find that the solfeggio frequencies are something you want to look into, and make sure that you have creativity in every aspect of your life. Spiritual studies and spiritual expansion are very important. That's why we're here. but the reality too is that the forward motion comes from being creative. So having fun with your creativity is very important as well. It isn't play, it's really work. And what it does is it opens the channels for everything to flow to you and through you and within you and become a part of you. As you hit the November timeframe, crown chakra opens up. It does feel as though that there is a sense of opening yourself up more to the wisdom of the universe and the cosmos, of looking into other dimensions, of learning into some of the frequencies that are out there and how to utilize them for healing and for understanding and for learning and for growth. And as you hit the December time frame, you're going to find that you are growing in ways that you had not anticipated. Watch your diet. Make sure you eat a balanced diet, and make sure you drink a lot of water, because the growth that I see going on here is going to be it's going to be impressive, but at the same time you're going to have to fuel it with you're going to have to fuel the physical with physical things in order to allow the spirit to grow in the directions that it needs to. Water especially, very, very, very important. Well, to everyone, but to you especially at this point in time. Okie doke.
All right. And it looks like we're all caught up.
Yay.
Yeah.
This was fun, everybody.
Yeah, it's a good group of readings. Had a
Absolutely.
few people chimed in, said hello, that have been here before. Jaquetta said hello, Happy New Year. Barbara and Greg and friends in the chat. She's been on a couple times.
Definitely. Well, it's always fun to have people coming back. I absolutely love that. And you even learn how to say their names sometimes too. So
yeah, Mark. And Mark said hi, Barbara and Roomies. He came in. I don't know if he's still here. So it looks like
then we're
everybody.
done. Well,
Yes.
I thank everybody for being here, and we'll be back in 2 weeks. And bring your friends, tell your friends, and come and share your amazing energy, because without your energy, I don't have anything to read. So you add to what I do greatly. I pull on the energy of whoever is being read, but the fact that there's also a group there brings more energy that is available to me. So do come back, bring your friends, and have a great week. Okay, we are done.